Cincinnati Bengals. We just did a video on them last week. So again, that video will be in the description below where we broke down a lot in that, which we probably just should have put that out as the Cincinnati Bengals video. But it is what it is. We can add in a few things here and make it a little bit more interesting. Might just be a little bit of a shorter one, but go ahead and check that out because obviously the Bengals have made a ton of moves this offseason, including tying down their two very great wide receivers for the next few years. So shout out to them. But last season, the Bengals went 9-8, missed the playoffs. They started out 0-3. The big thing that I want to harp on before we get into the draft is their defensive challenges. 19th in rush defense, 22nd in pass defense, 25th in points allowed. This team needs to figure something out on the defensive side of the football. And I believe that they got a deal done with Trey Hendrickson, correct? That's something that we were talking about in the last video. So
I have not seen anything yet on the Trey Hendrickson contract negotiations. I think they're at like a standstill is kind of what it seems like because I haven't heard anything about them progressing or things getting worse. And I guess if you're at a standstill, it means it's getting worse.
Oh, okay. So it sounds like it wasn't done.
Correct.
And those comments from Katie Blackburn were definitely disappointing, and communication has been poor over the last couple months. It's been a little bit frustrating. So it looks like they leaked out something that wasn't. Yeah, you're completely right. I don't know why I thought that Kurt Benekirk just said Trey Hendrickson being lied to by the Bengals organization. Tough look for the organization that's historically had money issues. Very interesting.
Has any Super Bowl run held more weight than the Bengals Super Bowl run a few years ago?
It shouldn't. It really should. It's time, dude.
But it feels like it kind of is, right?
Yeah, it's time.
I mean, they're not. Trey Hendrickson leaves, and they're going to have just no shot on defense.
They're going to be
Al Golden, poor guy, man. He's just getting thrown into a god awful defensive situation.
Literally, with getting held together by sticks and bubble gum, and it's just. You're right. I mean, this team isn't good. I think the head coach, who, of course, as I'm talking about him, I can't remember his name for the life of me.
Zach Taylor.
It's like I have CT or something. And I think this is the season where if he can't get this figured out to start the season, I think no matter what, if they lose first round of playoffs or whatever, I think to save his job this upcoming season, he's going to have to actually make a run in the playoffs.
I think so too, because we basically just said, that Super Bowl run that he had probably is the only thing that's keeping him afloat as far as the head coach goes, because it's been pretty sad since then.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow's been hurt every year, and they have just been underperforming since then. They had such high expectations after making that Super Bowl. Like, oh yeah, we got Joe Burrow to look forward to. We got Jamar Chase to look forward to. They get T. Higgins, and it just hasn't gone as planned.
It hasn't. And I think that we touched on it in the last video, like I said, maybe we can link this in or whatever, but this team every year gets worse and worse across the board. Even this year, their offensive line continues to get worse. Then they go and release Alex Kappa because they don't have enough money. So it's just they're pulling decent players from every position every single year to keep together this intact core. But they are going to have what year was this? Did the Saints draft Alvin Kamara in the 5th and Michael Thomas in the 2nd? Nailed
they just
all
hit
these starters.
Crazy. Yeah.
They need to have that type of draft this upcoming season to be able to really solidify themselves to make another deep playoff run, I think. So with that being said,
Hold on, I
this
have one other thing that I wanted to mention before you
go
go
ahead.
into
Go
that.
ahead.
The T. Higgins deal, I feel like kind of got sneaky under the radar with just how good of a deal the Bengals actually did on that because I,
You're
I
giving them
remember
credit.
seeing I am giving them credit, yeah.
Okay.
They managed to keep one of their better players. Um, but they got pretty creative in the steal. And let me just read you this little snippet. T. Higgins deal, on the other hand, has 30 million in fully guaranteed money, a 20. So wait, I'll probably should start with what his deal is. Where is it? Hold on. Okay. T. Higgins re-signed on a 4-year, $115 million deal earlier this offseason. Higgins had the non-exclusive franchise tag placed on him for the second straight year. Some of the details about this deal. So $30 million fully guaranteed money, $20 million roster bonus he's already collected, and a $10 million roster bonus he's due next March. As a practical matter, he's not guaranteed the $13.8 million he's due this year, but he'll get that plus a $100,000 workout bonus, and if he stays healthy, $2 million in per game roster bonuses, bringing the 2025 total to $35.9 million. But all he's guaranteed is the $10 million beyond that, and the roster bonus is subject to offsets, mitigating the team's risk.
I have no clue what any of that means, but good for them.
But it sounds like a lot of this deal, aside from like 30 million of it, is simply roster, like you're playing. Like his per game roster bonus is $2 million per game.
I mean, yeah, you can't. I think that's a good thing. I have no clue.
For the
Sounds
Bengals, I'm
like
saying.
it sounds like,
Yeah,
hey, listen, if everybody's happy on both sides, then that's the best deal.
correct. Then that's
And it seems
an A
like
plus deal.
that T. Higgins is happy. And if you think that it sounds like they're getting protected if anything bad happens, like injury wise, because he hasn't been able to stay healthy over the last few years, then like shout out to the Bengals for figuring that out.
I think knowing that you're losing $2 million a game gives you a little bit more incentive to fight through that sore ankle or sore forearm or something along those lines, which I'm not blaming T. Higgins for not playing if there were instances where he had to battle through something because at the time he didn't have guaranteed money, but now you do, and you get $2 million for playing. So that's an even more incentive of a reason to play if you're a guy like T. Higgins and fight through something.
Yeah, 100%. Now that now that he has a long term deal, you'd have to think that he's going to fight through some of these like little like soft tissue injuries that he might have been
Yeah,
holding out a little bit more like over the
100%.
last few years.
Yep.
Now to get in the draft, they have the 17th overall pick. I like in my head like played around with the idea of them taking like a Tyler Warren or a running back. Like if a Ashton Genty were to fall, I think that if they do not take a defensive player at number 17, I think that like the franchise might need to be exiled. I think that
Yeah.
like this is the most no-brainer defensive pick. And if you were to ask me what they were going to do, if it sounds like Trey Hendrickson's not going to be back, it seems like in a draft filled with edge rushers and
Yep.
defensive linemen, it feels like that they're probably going to go edge rusher, right?
Yeah. I have Shamar Stewart, Mike Green, best defensive player available.
Yeah, the list. The list
Yeah.
of the list of defensive ends or edge rushers who are going to be at the root of our entire existence until the draft is over and we see how it plays out. But I'm right there with you. It's got to be one of those guys.
The only position I cannot fault them for taking a younger guy is offensive line. The only position that I will give them a pass on
I know,
not
but
taking a defensive lineman is
even
if they
still,
take an offensive. If okay, crazy scenario. If somehow, I mean, this is probably if somehow like Will Campbell falls to 17,
yeah, take them.
you got to take him. The only reason I feel like he would is because every other team is like, we think he's going to be a guard, and we don't want to draft a guard this high.
Yeah. Dude, they should take Ted McMillan.
And just put up 20,000 offensive yards.
That'd be hilarious.
Oh,
that's all I have really for the Bengals. Like I said, we just did the Bengals, so maybe a little bit of a flaw on our end, but that video will also be linked below. But interesting offseason so far for the Bengals. I think an even more important draft coming up for them. And like I said, if they can nail this draft, I think that there is a real possibility that we can start having those conversations that Bengals fans think that they're in right now, but they don't actually have the reality that they're not in those conversations. So if they can do it, then we will give them the credit for doing it.
Yeah, they need to do something special in this draft class. Otherwise, it's scary for them.
Hey, is that all you got?
Does it for me. I got to go move my car. Go Birds.
White clouds blowing out when we max 4-5, not the size, but it can go